Timothy Chalamet.
What about him? He's a dad?
No,
I thought him and Kylie got pregnant.
No, but the comment.
Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, sorry. Not Kylie. Not this Kylie. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Marketing Blender Show. Today, Kylie and I are here to talk about some big things that happened in social media over the last couple of months. We're really barely halfway through 2026, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, let's kick it off. First thing, let's talk about that McDonald's CEO taking a hung. He didn't really bite.
Not taking the bite would be the more accurate representation.
Right, here we go.
My favorite thing from that was the comments like, did they consult social media people on this? Because I guarantee you there were people in the room that said, this is really not a good idea to post.
Yeah, honestly, if I were on their social media team, I probably would have said, maybe. Let's see what the reaction is. Because it's funny. Obviously, it's funny to me because I don't work at McDonald's, nor am I the CEO. So, like, I'm not eating the food.
Yeah.
Or I have a choice as to whether or not I should like the food. But I do think that overall, the approach is a little bit funnier because, like, nobody would expect the CEO to, like, not like the food. Yeah. Probably was still a bad look, like you said, though, because, like, at the end of the day, you should like your food.
Well, I think it also is, like, because there were a lot of social CEOs that responded eating food from the companies that they run, but they, like, went to a restaurant or they went to a kitchen and, like, either helped prepare it themselves or watched someone make it, and then they ate it, like, either at the restaurant. I remember seeing one CEO who went through the drive-thru, like, for all 3 meals of the day. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, he said in his video, he was like, I'm driving around a lot, and so this is, like, the easiest thing for me. And he, like, pulled out the rewards app, which I just think is so funny because...
Why do you need rewards?
I know, why do you need rewards? I feel like you should just be able to walk in and be like, I'm the CEO, give me food. Like, if they had been at a McDonald's restaurant, I think it would have been received a lot better. But considering the fact that they looked like they were in an office kitchen in a corporate office, like...
Well, also, and then the other side of that is like, if you're not going to eat your food, why should I eat your food? Like, public perception wise.
Definitely.
Now, it was a little fun. I will say, I thought it was funny, but I do think that, like, as social media teams, even if we do think some things are funny, sometimes we have to dial it back. Because, like, publicly, that didn't look good. And people already have their reservations about McDonald's anyways, considering there have been videos of burgers that have lasted years and have not molded. So, like, for the CEO to be like, I don't think I want to put this in my body. Well, at least it seemed like that's what he was doing. Yeah. I definitely think I agree with you there.
As someone who has worked at McDonald's, I did think it was funny.
Allegedly?
And kind of, like, ironic. Not allegedly. It's on my resume, Samaria. It's not allegedly.
Sorry.
I thought it was funny just because, like, this is what you're trying to use to promote this new menu item, and it is not going the way you want it to. Conversely, McDonald's came out with the K-pop Demon Hunters meal, and I guarantee you that kind of just, like, erased whatever.
Yeah, I have my thoughts about the the K-pop Demon Hunters naming. The sauce naming's a little strange, but also it definitely got them some social hype. People were talking about it a lot. The demon sauce, it's just it's a bit strange, but, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's what they chose, and it did get them some buzz, like I said. And I do think the one thing that they did really well was the little QR that had, like, there's something special, just, like, hold on, or, like, you get, like, 2 little photo cards, which is really cute. Yeah. Really wish they would have done that with the BTS meals, but I digress. But yeah, no, it was really cute. I thought it was fun. And I thought it was a cute way to kind of, like, it was like a little fan war in a way, but I don't think anybody really thought about it. Now, I will say, I do think in order to make it more fair, they should have made both meals at one time. So, like, instead of having a breakfast and a lunch, they should have done lunch and lunch or breakfast and breakfast so that you knew which meal people liked more. I'm not saying that people don't go to McDonald's for breakfast, but I don't think people are, like, actively thinking, like, oh, we're going to order the K-pop Demon Hunters meal for breakfast. Yeah. Unless you're, like, a fan of the movie. But other than that, I did think it was really cute. And I thought the little reveal of the winner was actually really fun. So let's talk about that Super Bowl halftime show. Shout out to Bad Bunny.
It was fun. I I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch just because I'm not like that big of a football fan. But I remember like going out of my way to like, let me go watch this. And I thought it was really cool. The grass people were actually hilarious.
That was hilarious because they all came out on TikTok and they were like, hi, grass number 553. And it's like, what the heck?
And they had to be within a certain height so that they weren't like, I don't remember the exact height, but you had to be within a certain height to be a grass person. But I think that was a really, because every Super Bowl halftime show, almost everyone, incorporates a big crowd somehow, whether that's, you know, dancing, just like mosh pit type. But I think being the grass was like a fun way just to include people. I also think the naming of all the countries at the end was really cool, just because it was a good show of solidarity. And I think, yeah.
It's definitely important, I think. I think my favorite part about everything, though, was, like, the reactions on social. Everything was happening so quick, which, I mean, obviously we all know social's in real time. So whatever reaction people were having, it was going to be posted. But, like, it was the way that people were noticing, like, little things about the show in seconds. I mean, there was some misinformation that came out a little bit about like the little kid that was in the show, and there were so many things, but like it's always fun to see cultural moments like this explode on social media because like honestly it's one of those times where I feel like social is like fully engaged in, I guess, like for lack of better words, like community, and people are talking and having conversations, whether it be serious, whether it be funny. Like people seeing like Cardi B and they're like, what is she doing here? Like all these people like talking about, you know, like the different dancers and like what they represent, and, you know, just Bad Bunny himself. Like that was really fun. It was really cool to watch. My ultimate favorite part of the show was what you mentioned, which is the ending where he called out everybody and was like, you know, like we're one kind of thing. I thought that was really awesome. And just to see such positive sentiment after everything negative being said, but after everything negative being said and seeing such a positive reaction from most people on the internet, it was really nice. Yeah. And it was funny because like there was another halftime show that was happening at the same time. And I just have to say, listen, if you didn't watch Bad Bunny's halftime show and you watched the other one, you missed out so bad. You can clip it. You heard it here first, people. I'm being serious. You need to go watch it. It's so good. It's entertainment.
Do you think, because you'll have a better answer than I will, do you think that this Super Bowl halftime show had the most impact on social media compared to last year's? Because last year's was Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember that one. I remember that one had a really big buzz on social media as well. And I did end up watching that one because I was at a Super Bowl party, so I had a reason to watch it, and I enjoyed that one a lot.
Oh, it's such a good question. I don't know. It's okay. I don't like to pit the girls against each other, you know. I do think that Bad Bunny's halftime show had a little bit more social impact. Obviously, people were talking about Kendrick's show because, you know, Kendrick and Drake beef was really big on social. And honestly, it really played out on social. Like, I think that's it wasn't 2026, but like if we could eventually, maybe we should do like a flashback. We need to talk about that one because that one was really cool and interesting. But I think with Kendrick's show, everybody was tuned in because they really wanted to be a part of the moment that Kendrick hollered A minor on a national stage. Yeah. And honestly, the album was really good. Kendrick's awesome. His music is incredible. But like I definitely think that because of the way that people were talking about how Bad Bunny was going to do the show completely in Spanish, it obviously got negative press, it got positive press, like just everybody was talking about it. So I definitely think it had a little bit more impact social wise. But yeah, I definitely think both shows are really great, and I cannot wait to see who they bring out for this next year. That's the only reason I watch the Super Bowl, is literally for the halftime. I don't care about the football unless the Cowboys go. I will not care about who's in the Super Bowl.
But speaking of the Super Bowl, let's talk about Dr. Pepper.
It's good and nice. Do. Yeah, shout out to Dr. Pepper. Honestly, I remember when they first posted their video, I was thinking to myself, because I saw it before everybody started commenting and liking, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, we're trying to get viral hype like people used to on YouTube. Like, obviously, yes, we know TikTok is like the space if you want to do something like that. I didn't think it was going to blow up, though. And so then obviously everybody's singing the song, everybody's, you know, doing their thing. And now they're like there's like Hidden Valley Ranch and the Sprite song, and all the people commenting and asking about like, oh, can you make one for me, make one for my brand? And it's like, girl, don't do them for free work.
Well, I think it was really interesting because that video blew up, and you had people in the Dr. Pepper comments like, why aren't you using this? Why aren't you using it? Like, you need to use it. Like, she's giving you so much free advertising. I'm not going to drink Dr. Pepper again until you use this song. And I'm like, social media can do a fast turnaround, but it does take a little bit of time. It was almost like they were expecting, like, just drop everything and do this, which does work sometimes, but I think there was a lot of validation on Dr. Pepper's side when it came to them using it for the Super Bowl, which just elevated it to another level. And it was kind of like, some things take time.
Yeah.
Like, and it was only a couple of weeks. It wasn't like it was months and months of waiting, but it was like a couple of weeks, and people were so impatient. And I honestly, like, yes, social media can be fast, but I honestly thought that Dr. Pepper was getting called out a little too much for not responding fast enough, because, like, you have to talk to the creator. You have to make sure that you can use it. You have to make something that fits with it. Like, who knows what Dr. Pepper was planning on airing before this. So they probably had to scrap that. Maybe it was the same video just with the new song, but like, you never know what the changes they had to make. Yeah. So I think using it for the Super Bowl was good validation for Dr. Pepper, and I think they really did a good job using it for one of the biggest ads of the year.
Yeah, and I also think it was really interesting to watch all of the people create their own, like, this, like, it felt like it prompted a bunch of creatives to just like showcase their work and what they can do. Yeah. They were making remixes of the jingle. They were creating their own advertisements, like graphics, things like that. Like, it was actually, to see everybody on social, like, I think this is one of my favorite parts about social media, is like how fast things happen and how fast things work. And it's also the way that, like, we can really build off of each other. It, to me, shows like, as humans, people have different talents, right? So like, they might have created the jingle, the other person created the video, and they're trying to get a little bit of shine, you know, they're trying to show off their skills, and maybe that got them some work, who knows? Let people have their moment, stop trying to overshadow them. But it didn't feel like that's what everybody was doing when they were trying to like get Dr. Pepper to notice. They were building off of something that was really funny and great, and then, you know, it got a little bit bigger, which also brings me to, and the reason I started laughing is because as we were talking about how Dr. Pepper took this TikTok and used it for the Super Bowl, it made me think about the announcement for the next Super Bowl that was 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, release them. I can't remember her name, but like, I just remember that being a pretty big thing on social, which, shout out to the song. The song's actually pretty good, but yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go off track, but
also, speaking of football, this is like super random, but Fernando Mendoza and his use of LinkedIn. If you don't know who Fernando Mendoza is, he is the college football championship quarterback. He won this past year. Shout out to everyone in the stadium that started singing Fernando. Like, the whole crowd started singing it, and it was really cute because he was just like standing there looking at it. He uses LinkedIn as if he's not, you know, gonna be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, he posted like, I just won the college championship, and here's what this taught me about something that relates to my degree. And I was like, that's so, like, you don't see football players using LinkedIn like that. Like, yeah, they'll post on Instagram, whatever, but like, you don't see football players using LinkedIn. And yes, he has a career in football now, but I think it was such an interesting way to like translate those skills into LinkedIn, which is so random to me. But I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I also think it's a great way to encourage people around his age to use the platform.
Definitely.
Because there is so much potential in LinkedIn. And even, I guess, we also encourage our clients to like post on their own if they feel like it. I personally need to get a little bit better. So like, I'm not judging if you're not. But like, I definitely think that it's a good opportunity for LinkedIn to like really, or for, I shouldn't say for LinkedIn, but for the people to really better understand what LinkedIn is used for and how it can be beneficial. And I love seeing younger people on LinkedIn. There are a lot of us on LinkedIn, but I feel like there are also a lot of my friends who don't have updated LinkedIns and stuff like that. So hopefully maybe seeing like a football player that they might eventually admire, or if they already admire him, the younger people will start actually engaging a little more on LinkedIn, so that we can turn it into a meme-full platform, like the rest of the social media platforms.
I think it also goes to show that, like, you can post on LinkedIn even if something might not seem related. Because, again, like, posting about football might not seem like a LinkedIn topic, but being, like, someone with such a large following being like, this is how I use LinkedIn, and I'm not going to go into that business world.
Yeah.
I think it's just a way that, like, LinkedIn shows its use for LinkedIn more than just what it is being used for now.
Yeah, and I think he also had, I think that post was about B2B marketing, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, LinkedIn is a very, obviously, like, the number one platform for B2B marketers at the moment, especially social media wise. And I do think that, like, I feel like we should talk about it more. I feel like we should make it more fun. I feel like the more that people use LinkedIn and actually make it interesting, the more we're going to be able to actually get out of B2B marketing, B2B social. Like, it's gonna more. Everybody use LinkedIn and have fun on it, please.
Not related to LinkedIn, although that would have been really funny if they updated their LinkedIn status. I think we should talk about Artemis too.
Oh yeah.
The launch, which
Officially launched.
literally took over social media for 10 days, I think. You know, pictures, edits. I didn't, but I'd be so interested to see the following growth between all of the astronauts, NASA specifically. Something that I thought was super interesting is one of the daughters of the astronaut, her following jumped less than 2,000 to about 46,000
Yeah, I remember
followers on
seeing-
Instagram over 10 days,
I think it
which
was
I think
on-
is so, like, interesting because that's, to me, that's like a random.
Yeah, you're also,
I mean, it's
like,
cool.
not
Like,
that strong.
my dad's in space. Like, she's going to have a great story her first day of school. But I just think,
His
like,
day of school.
what did you do last year? Oh, well, you know, my dad was in space. It's fine.
So I think I saw that. I think I saw her video on TikTok. And honestly, I think the cool thing that came out of this was people got to nerd out like crazy, right? Like, I love the one part about, like, social that is always interesting to me is when there are, like, major topics that people have been holding back talking about. We get them to come out of their little hidey hole, and they come out with all of this knowledge and all of this, like, all these stories, all this different, like, you need to go here if you want to see this, you should go here if you want to see this, this is how you can figure out when NASA's doing that. Like, all this information that they were able to share with the world, all because everybody was tuned into this one thing. And I think that that's really beautiful. I did think it was really interesting, the, like, balance between happy and sad that we got, because obviously there are some failed launches and failed returns that people were still pretty emotional about and they wanted to talk about. And so I thought the mix of that content on specifically TikTok, because that's really where I was watching most of it, was very interesting. And also all of the live coverage. Oh my gosh, you had people that were, like, stealing streams from major publications and just, like, posting them. Like, it was, not to say that, like, I shouldn't say they're stealing because obviously it's public, but, like, they were, like, streaming from their phone and they're watching the stream and they're, like, talking in the background, like, guys, do you guys see this? Like, the thing is coming down, da da da. You know, oh, we're delayed. Like, it was really interesting. So that's one of the parts that I love about social too. It's just, like, again, I think that the common theme here is really just community and being able to share experiences with so many people and so quickly. And I just think that's a really beautiful thing.
I think one of my favorite things was the reactions to finding out about the naming of one of the craters on the backside of the moon after Reed Wiseman's wife, who passed away a couple of years ago, and they named a crater after her, which I just think is sweet. Like, I almost started sobbing. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, they got us with that one.
And, like, yeah, the crew did talk about it before this, but I think just, you know, following through with that, and I mean, that's so insanely special to him and his daughters, but also, like, it just kind of goes to show that, like, the moon is just, it's there for everyone. Like, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
I think is really special.
Okay, I know more about Justin Bieber. I assume you know more about Sabrina Carpenter's set?
A little bit, but I also have something to say about Katseye.
I also have something to say about Katseye. Hyde Geffen, whichever one to use, watch it right now. What is the status on Manon? Let us know now.
They just announced a tour.
And she's not included.
She's not in the picture.
Promotion. Okay.
And she's back in Switzerland, I think.
And she's filming, I think it's Germany's Next Top Model.
Oh, I
or something
didn't
like
know
that.
that.
Yeah, she's on a show. But I think this is the crazy part, right? This is what is insane to me. This has dragged on for way too long. And social media, yes, it does have something to do with social media. I know that we just started talking about it. And Monica, you can keep this in if you want to. You can cut it out if not. And we can just post it as a little aside if not. Because I need Hive and Geffen to hear me right now. Listen, everybody is on their toes. Everybody's on the edge of their seats trying to figure out what's going on with Manon. When she first announced her hiatus, oh baby, social media blew up. There were so many different takes. Was it because she's of color? She's black? She's a black woman? Is it a common theme with Geffen? Who knows? Nobody knows what's going on, because in K-pop it is typical for artists to take hiatuses based on health reasons. Maybe they lost somebody in their family, something like that. And it's typical for them not to be included in the concepts. But what's not typical is for y'all to have them in a video. Allegedly. Now, I don't know how true this is, because I didn't go and do any further research. So, allegedly have them slated in all of the content before and then AI them out. A refilm, yeah. I have not seen that happen. That's just me. I haven't seen it. Maybe somebody in the comments could say, like, it happened in 2013 with insert group name. I don't know, insert company name. But I do think they're moving really weird around it. And they just need to say whether or not the girl's in the group. Like, it's pretty simple.
Do you think that Hive and Geffen were too concerned with their new group that they just finished creating?
Child, that's their favorite. Oh, excuse me. That is their favorite child. That is literally their favorite. That's the favorite child. And there's a lot of talk right now on that on social too, which is interesting because at the end of the day, like, a lot of how people are communicating about this is going to be on social media, right? So, like, we're looking at, like, in real time people's opinions. It's almost like what I told a couple of my friends, like, when it comes to, we're just going to take it back to Katseye real quick. When it comes to Katseye, the group and everybody's perception of them was morphed based on Dream Academy. And they allowed, and Hive and Geffen are doing the same thing now, they allowed social media to create a narrative, and they're not stepping it at all. They're kind of doing the same thing with Prelude. Like,
Saint Satine.
Oh, is it new?
Yeah.
That's the new name?
That's her new name.
Child, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was announced yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, so with their new group, they're kind of doing the same thing. But it's a little annoying, to me at least, because I feel like if you're going to allow people to talk about your groups on social, there's sometimes when you need to step in and you need to, like, control the narrative just a little bit more. With Katseye, they did not do that, and I think that's why they are where they are. I'm sorry, that's kind of an aside. Maybe it can be a bonus, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's not directly related to social media.
Well, sorry, one more thing about Katseye. I think Katseye would, regardless of how this happened, like what happened with Manon, would have been so much better received if they were releasing better music.
Sorry.
Hot take, maybe, but, like, you can't convince me that, like Gabriella was good.
But they won't release anything else. Now we're getting Pinkies Up.
Like, and Gnarly was, it was weird, but it was okay. Like, it was kind of fun. But then Pinkies Up came out, and I'm like, first off, what is the styling choices going on?
It's the shock value marketing for me. I think that's what they're doing.
It's not going to work long term.
No,
like, you can't do this long term.
We just become music executives on this podcast.
But then I am really curious to see how Saint Satine is going to do and how they're going to push them forward. Whoa. And whether or not they're going to give them, in my mind, decent music, costumes, stuff like that.
The costumes already look far better.
Yeah, definitely.
Respectfully.
I mean, and I know that's, like, supposed to be different styles, and that's fine, but, like, I can't take them seriously when they're wearing that.
No, and you literally just don't take a group of talented vocalists and make them do songs like Pinkies Up and Gnarly over and over and over again. Like, I want more Gabriellas. They had a couple of songs that they put out, like, when they first dropped, and I can't remember the names of them, but, like, which I guess, okay, point proven.
Game Boy was pretty good.
Game Boy was good, yeah. But I'm thinking, like, I don't remember the other song names. So, like, okay, point proven. Maybe Pinkies Up and Gnarly. Good marketing tactic, because I do remember those songs. But it's just frustrating because I feel like we don't get to explore they're not able to explore their talents, and we're not able to see their talents.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of sets them up for failure. And again, all of this conversation is happening on social media, so that is how it ties back into social media.
Speaking of Katseye at Coachella, which was how we got started talking about this, they brought out the K-pop Demon Hunter singers.
They gotta be tired of singing Golden.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Can you sing a different song? Golden is great. You sound amazing doing it. Anyways, sorry.
No, but it was actually I thought it was a cute moment because I feel like it helps in some ways bridge the gap between the global girl group and the K-pop community or K-pop scene, because a lot of the conversation that happens around Katseye on social is like, oh well, they're K-pop group, but they're not a K-pop group. They're a global girl group who is created and in the same fashion as, and molded in the same fashion as what a K-pop group would have been.
Yeah.
But I do think that it was a really nice moment to kind of showcase the global side of things and bridge that, like, not necessarily a divide, but like it kind of like is like one of those things where it's like, okay, what a beautiful meshing of different worlds, you know.
Again, back to the Coachella because we keep.
I know, sorry.
No, it's okay.
We're not music executives. We just like to talk.
Sabrina Carpenter brought out Madonna, and people were upset on social media that the people at Coachella were not freaking out enough.
I'm sorry. Okay, I do think, so this is the part of, okay.
Because you think back to when Zendaya showed up at Coachella with Labyrinth, and people were freaking out about that.
But we have to remember, so this is, I mean, overall, I think reactions were different across social media platforms, to be honest with you, from different crowds. Because, like, on Facebook, you didn't really hear too many people talking about, like, oh, well, they didn't know Madonna. Like, they were just talking about the fact that it was Madonna, right? Twitter was a bit of mix of, like, the people probably didn't know that it was Madonna because the people are not really listening to Madonna anymore. The kids are not listening to Madonna. So she's not, like... And that's not to say Madonna's not a huge star. She's a star, obviously. But, like, the conversation that goes on around that on social, it really is controlled, like, the generations. So I think it's interesting in this way how segmented all of the social media platforms are, especially, like, when it comes to, okay, Gen Z is probably not on Facebook. Most people, unless they're, like, older Gen Z like me, they're probably not on Facebook. But most of the Gen Zs are on TikTok, and if they're looking at Madonna and they don't know who she is, honestly, they don't care, and they're probably going to drag you online for thinking that they should know, respectfully. True. Which is always really
True
funny
statement.
to watch. Again, this just kind of goes to show, like, collective knowledge is incredible, right? But sometimes there are places where we lose recipes as I guess, like, a society, like American specifically, like specific to America. Like, where we have not passed down the knowledge of Madonna is incredible and she's great. I mean, personally, as far as, like, critiquing it, I just kind of watched the performance. Now, the performance that I did critique and absolutely loved was Justin Bieber. Shout out to being a believer. Listen, believer since day one. I still got my purple glasses from the movie.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Justin Bieber's.
It was so cute.
But I will say the clip I feel like that circled the most online was him going from, like, not putting much effort into singing the song to realizing that the crowd is singing with him, and then he literally switched his voice and, like, actually started singing, and people's online reactions to that were like him realizing he still has a fan base, like, people still love him, I think was really...
I'm gonna cry. Sorry. Nah, okay, so this is the thing. This is what I really loved about that, was that Justin is one of the, if not, like, the first large artist that let me not say that because Soulja Boy gonna come in the comments and be like, Soulja Boy did it first. But, like, he was found on YouTube, and for his Coachella performance to be kind of surrounded around, like, his old videos, like, even some of the stuff that he did in the very beginning, you know, and some of his most popular songs, I just thought it was a really cool way to incorporate, like, his history. And so obviously social had a lot of mixed reactions. Some people were like, oh, this is really lazy. Frank Ocean did something similar where he didn't get up and dance, or he wasn't standing while singing. He was also late, and there was a lot more critiquing there. But I think that the reason Justin's, to me, was so impactful is because, like, that's where he got his start. And also just considering, like, everything that he's been through, you know, everything that the media has said about him, everything that people have said about him. Like, to be honest, I really wasn't expecting him to get up and do choreo to somebody to, like, I wasn't expecting him to get up and do everything that he did when he was young. So.
And he's not, like, he's just not that performer anymore.
Yeah.
And, like, that's okay. Like, why does he have to keep with the same thing that he's did when he was younger when other performers are allowed to change?
Yeah. And I think the fun thing about it was it felt like being back online circa, like, 2010, and being on Twitter before it became the massive thing that it is. But, like, and remembering like, okay, there used to be Ustream, there used to be like Beliebers creating hashtags, and Justin would get online and talk to us for a little bit. Like it was one of those things where like seeing those old videos kind of put me back into like fangirl space, which is why I am where I am. It was really like, for me, also kind of a full circle moment, because I think had I never become a believer, I would have never been a social media manager, to be honest, because I was in the trenches when everything was getting started. So yeah, I really loved that performance though. And I mean, I know he didn't do much, but I don't know, y'all. Him going to the crowd, Billie Eilish being the one less lonely girl, which shout out to that. That was so cute. I was like, oh, she's living her best life right now. But just seeing all those clips on social and people reacting to them, whether it have been negative or positive, it just kind of, again, for me, goes back to how quickly information is shared on social and how quickly we can react to things. I think that's just really awesome. And in these moments, we can have like larger conversations about like, okay, here's my opinion on this, like, and people can actually have productive conversation. And I think that's what kind of happened for the most part with Justin's set, especially on Threads. I don't know if you guys have been on Threads lately, but I'm not gonna lie, Threads is like for conversation. Like if you want to have, for the most part, productive conversation or disagreements or whatever, Threads is the place to be. And I'm not being paid by Instagram for this, so, or not Instagram, by Meta, but yeah, I would definitely get on Threads if you want to have some combos.
But on to the next thing, which I think this is pretty interesting. So if you don't know, Spirit Airlines went out of business, and it was very like their last flight was at midnight and they were done. I saw a lot of Spirit Airline employees posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, you know, yesterday I had a job and now I don't. Some things that were cool to come out of it. So Southwest found out that one of their passengers was supposed to be flying his retirement flight, was supposed to be the day after Spirit Airlines shut down. And I believe the pilot had a family member on the plane who worked for Southwest, and so he like called it into Southwest or whatnot, and Southwest made sure that like the water cannons shot over the plane as the plane landed. They had a big celebration for him because Spirit Airlines didn't celebrate his retirement, but Southwest stepped in, which I think was good when you consider like the reactions to Southwest that have been going on. If you don't know anything more about that, we can link that video in the comments, but like I think that was really good. Something also interesting is a person on TikTok named Hunter Peterson basically was like, what if we crowdfund and buy Spirit Airlines? So as of filming this video, $337 million has been pledged, and that's 371,552 pledges. Will I think that it happens? Maybe not. But the fact that people are so like, yeah, let's do it. Let's buy this airline, I think is so interesting from something that started on social media. Now it has a web page now and it's like a lot more official, but it literally started from a guy making a TikTok saying, what if we just bought Spirit Airlines and made it a public company?
Yeah, and even like, so going back to what you said at the beginning where people were posting, so okay, basically this entire event caused tons of different conversations on social. So like there were the people who were like being realistic and saying like, okay, you know what this means for air travel now, because Spirit was a discount airline technically. And then there are also the people who were adding Spirit Airlines to their resume, even though they never worked at Spirit Airlines, which is why I giggled when you were like, obviously there were people talking about, you know, their jobs and what happened there, because the amount of people that I saw like AI themselves into like a Spirit shirt and say like, I was the manager of Spirit Airlines or whatever for like 7 years. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all are so dumb. Like these people are gonna be able to figure that out. But it keeps taking me back to like us being able to have conversation on social, and also giving other like airlines the space to kind of rebuild their images, because all of them have had problems in the last couple of months. Maybe not the last couple of months, like last year, for sure. Yeah. There's a lot going on economically for America. Everyone is sharing their experiences. Everyone's having that conversation about like what that looks like for air travel in the future, what that looks like for them. You know, they had flights. Some people paid for, like there are a couple of mutuals I have that are going to CBTS who are flying Spirit. and are like, where is my refund gonna come, you know? And like,
Oh, yeah.
I think Spirit's doing the best they can, and I think that the other airlines stepping in and saying, okay, we can try to help people out with their flights and things like that on social, I think that's really positive. And again, showing us all how we can become a little more human and help each other out when we're in need on social. So,
and I also think, kind of going back to the other airlines stepping up, several different airlines also said, like, if you were let go from Spirit when they closed, I guess everyone was, like, send us your application and you'll get bumped up to the top, which is kind of where the faking being a Spirit employee came into. But I also think that was like a cool way of, like, all of these people have good industry knowledge and they're just wasted now. So like the fact that the other airlines are willing to be like, send us your resumes, we'll like put you at the top of the list, I think is really cool to see, and also kind of just, again, creates more of a community around this. One more thing about Spirit, I thought their post that they made was interesting to me, because if I was shutting down an airline, I think I'd put a little more effort into the post. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't.
But it was literally just a black background.
Okay, maybe I did see
with
it.
like white text, which is like fine. It's very like, people are gonna read that. But I don't know. I feel like if I would have put a little more effort into the graphics.
Yeah.
I mean, I see why they didn't, because like I know it was very sudden. Like, you're not gonna ask someone who just lost their job to put a lot of effort into something. But I really thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I think overall, like, kind of like you mentioned, honestly, I think it was because everything was so abrupt that they had to get something posted.
For sure.
Especially since I was going to disrupt a lot of people's flights, which is, the situation is so unfortunate. Like, it is really sad to me that, like, literally the same day they were like, last flight, like, that's it. Because I remember when I initially saw the post from, I think Pop Base may have posted it or somebody else posted that Spirit was closing, I was like, I thought that it was another, like, okay, they're looking for a, you know, government bailout kind of thing. So, like, it wasn't very clear in the beginning. Yeah. Until somebody was like, their last flight was, what was it, May 3rd? Midnight.
At midnight.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So, that actually happened. Because I even quoted that tweet, and I was like, I'm willing to bet if they add a little more leg room on their planes, they're going to be able to bring business back up immediately. But, obviously, I was wrong. But I was just trying to participate in the conversation because I did think it was an interesting topic, because like we've seen so many things close over the last couple of years. A lot of different stores, a lot of different
Rest in peace, Joann's.
Bro, I know. It's very sad. Hey, I worked at Joann's. Not allegedly. I worked there. I know.
It's on my resume, people.
We came from humble backgrounds. But anyways, we're seeing the internet talk about like all of these different closures and things like that. And I think it's interesting to see the collective like grief for that. And the grief for like just bringing back nostalgia, kind of like everybody's talking about 2016, all those things. And I don't know, it's just a very interesting, right now there's been a very interesting conversation around like our economy and like stores closing and what that means for us in the future and things like that. So Spirit is just another unfortunate loss to that. So
one more thing about Spirit Airlines, the Savannah Bananas posted a video, or the creator of the Savannah Bananas, and he was like, I hear there are yellow planes available.
Oh gosh.
I was like, okay.
Savannah Bananas.
One final thing before we end this video. Shout out to Brad.
Oh yeah.
Who is one of our CMOs, who is currently trending on TikTok with a video that's sitting at 21.6 million views.
If everyone would so kindly show us how you fold your towels, we will make sure that Brad gets to see those videos.
Yeah. And shout out to Slim Jim, who responded.
Oh yeah, definitely shout out to Slim Jim. I do not fold my towels like Brad. I just will say that now.
How do you fold? Do you do the trifold?
I do a trifold. Listen, hey, speaking of working at Joann's, I got complimented on my trifold skills. Thank you. There was a lady, I'll never forget it. She was like, oh, I just love the way you fold fabric. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I've never really thought about it, but like, I guess because my brain is like, okay, tuck all the edges and make it like a little perfect rectangle or square, whatever I could do. I always trifolded everything, and it was like, real nice. And so I even trifold my clothes. Like, I should do a video right now.
I don't trifold my towels.
Don't trust Kylie to do your laundry. Just kidding. Alrighty, well.
On that
note, onward and upward, people. We're going to end this episode on a high note. Brad, trifold. Trifold. Girl, he acts like a dog. Leave him.
He would literally, oh my god. Like, the fact that he would randomly howl, I'm like, this has to be for TV, right? Like, this can't be real.
Rob, you're recording.
That's gonna be the end.